Well, he went into businesses saying that he could inspect their sprinklers and their fire extinguishers. Problem is, police say none of it was true.
Our Steve Mailing found out investigators say this man targeted businesses owned by people who don't speak English as a first language.
Fire investigators say the man targeted minority-owned businesses like this one off of Nolensville Pike. He'd make hundreds of dollars per inspection, all inspections that weren't even valid. Owning this grocery, meat, and flower market, it's something Betty Ramos takes pride in.
For flowers, maybe 6 or 7 years, and for the market, 1 year and a half.
That's why when the fire marshal came in and told her that her fire sprinklers and extinguishers were not inspected by a licensed professional, she was shocked.
What happened? So my inspection for the bonfires department, he told me, oh no, the extinguisher is not good. Why? For this inspection is not correct.
Fire investigators say Wesley Shaw ran an unlicensed business called Tennessee Fire Specialty Systems, where he would pose as a licensed fire inspector to business owners, making hundreds of dollars in inspections he wasn't qualified to do.
I don't remember exactly, but for my businesses here, probably 200, more than 200, 300, a little bit more 300. I don't remember my memory. Sometimes for the numbers is not good. But a lot of money.
Shaw was arrested and charged with impersonation of a licensed professional, and the fire marshal's office recommends that if people have used his services before, that they should contact a licensed service provider to perform the required testing on their systems. In South Nashville, Steve Mailing, WSMV4.